Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Rishi Sunak must be in, a bit of a worrisome state at the moment. He'll be sitting down to lunch, he'll be wondering what on earth is going on. Because first of all, of course, you had the marvellous Nadine Dorries quit. She upset the apple cart. She went because her ennoblement to the House of Lords was rejected. So she's quit as an MP. She's gone. That, of course, will mean a by-election in a seat that the Tories are not expected to win. Then a few hours later, there was the massive news that Boris Johnson had quit with immediate effect as an MP. That will trigger also a by-election, one that the Tories are not expected to win. On top of that, those people that went through to the House of Lords on Boris's resignation honours list, they will go. So those will be 3 more by-elections, only one of which are the Tories expected to win. And then comes today's news. So after having 5 by-elections thrust upon him at the worst possible time, a 6th one has come up because Nigel Adams, the MP for Selby and a friend of Boris Johnson, has also quit. He says he's giving up being an MP with immediate effect. He's stepping down, and that is making life very, very difficult for Rishi Sunak, a man who quite literally was never voted into office. He wasn't voted as leader by the members. The members did not vote for him. It was a stitch-up by the parliamentary party. He only just scraped in ahead after the second round of voting, it must be said, when everyone else basically went, no, okay, we'll all step down, we need a leader, we can't let this farce go on. So you end up with a man who was never voted in as leader and who was never voted in as PM because they haven't had an election since, who's despised by the membership, who's not liked by half the parliamentary party, and yet he's sitting there ruining the lives, ruining the careers of others. And he's quite prepared, of course, that despite whatever he does to damage Britain, he's okay, Jack, because he's got his green card and he's off to America as soon as he's done it. So his job seems to be to damage Britain as much as possible and then leave. We need to get Sunak out. We need all these forthcoming by-elections to go to any other party. It doesn't matter. Let's send the message to the Conservatives that they cannot foist an unpopular man onto the British people without any kind of regard to our say. It is not right, it is undemocratic, and he is not the man for the job. And the damage he is doing is incalculable. And that, I think, is another reason why Nigel Adams went. One thing he can say he done, Rishi Sunak, is that he has permanently rent a huge rip down the middle of the Tory party. Let's look at this article, see what is going on. So, Sunak's by-election nightmare, after another Tory MP immediately stands down. Nigel Adams, the MP for Selby and a close ally of Bojo, has announced he is quitting with an immediate effect as an MP. And I don't think he's going to be the last. I think a lot of people are going to stand down, fight another election, simply to send the message to Rishi Sunak that it is time to go. He's damaged the party irrevocably, and it is time for him to leave. Nigel Adams, the MP for Selby, has become the latest Boris Johnson loyalist to quit as an MP, throwing the Conservative Party into further chaos. The move, which has been taken with immediate effect, means that the Prime Minister is now facing a third damaging by-election, while lagging behind Labour by 15 points in the polls. And plus, once those 3 that have gone through and go up to the Lords, that's another 3 by-elections that will have to be called. So he is going to be in a bad way. Critics of the Prime Minister have suggested more MPs could go, handing him what is in effect a mini general election, which could destroy his moral authority to govern Britain. He hasn't got any moral authority. He wasn't even voted in by the Conservative Party members. Mr. Adams, who was one of Dr. Johnson's, hardly, Mr. Adams, who was one of Mr. Johnston's closest allies, had been removed from the former Prime Minister's resignation honours list, which was published yesterday. So, he was another one. He was given an honour by Bojo, by Boris, and then the council said, no, you can't have this one, you can't have that. and they took them down and took them off. So that he's another one that's done that. And he said, well, you know what? Sod this, he said, and he's gone. So like Nadine Dorries, who also quit as an MP yesterday and started the stampede to the exit door, Mr Adams has been promised a seat in the House of Lords, which then didn't come. In his statement on Twitter, he said, yesterday, Selby Conservatives selected an excellent new parliamentary candidate. I have informed the Chief Whip that I will be standing down as a Member of Parliament with immediate effect. And it has been an honour to represent the area where I was raised and educated, and I want to thank my constituents for their wonderful support since 2010. He has gone, he's another one who's going, and he's doing it out of principle, which is an unusual thing in the Tories, but it's because nobody can actually stomach Rishi Sunak. But friends and allies have told the Express that he is disgusted with the Sunak government and has no appetite to remain and support it for the next 2 Years. The resignation of Miss Dorries, Mr Adams and Mr Johnson appears to have been coordinated to cause maximum damage to the government. Well, of course it has, and I don't think that this is the end to it. I think there'll be more. Miss Dorries announced she would quit just as Mr Sunak was addressing Conservatives in the Northern Research Group conference in Doncaster. He is now effectively done. He's a dead duck Prime Minister over a failing party that is riven with splits left, right and centre on a number of issues. He cannot bring them together. He is not the man to bring them together. And he is now damaging the country, as I say, probably irrevocably because of his intransigence, because of his inability to actually get on and do a job. He's too petty. He's absolutely he's a tiny man, but he's a very petty man as well. And I think it's time that he considers his position and he goes. Otherwise, he'll have the ignominy of actually losing the general election. And I think there's only one person who can come back to save the Tories, and they've got to get Boris back. People in the North did not vote for the Tory party at the last election. They voted for one man. They voted for Boris. Without him, the Tories are finished. At the moment, there's no one else to come back. And don't get me wrong, I think Boris is an awful man. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a serial adulterer. He's got, so many children. He doesn't know how many. But he is the only hope the Tories have. I don't think they can win the election. I think the next election's gone. It's Labour, undoubtedly. But whether it's a rout or a close run thing is entirely down to having Boris back. They need to get him. Anyway, I shall round off there. I shall come up and we will finish the video. I think Rishi's days in office are certainly numbered. The Tories have a habit of quietly and quickly and very efficiently getting out Prime Ministers that they no longer feel confident in. And I don't think anyone in the party is confident that Rishi Sunak can deliver a victory for the party at the next election. And they all want a new leader who may do better, to have time to bed in, to be known, to become aware of the public, and to sort of make an impression prior to that run-up to that election, which will be probably at the end of next year. We could be looking about autumn next year. So if they're going to do it, it's going to have to be done quick. They'll want at least one conference with the new leader, and that would mean having it done and dusted probably by the end of August at the latest. So I do think that I think we're in the last days of Rishi Sunak. I think he will be a leader that will have come and gone, and everyone, I think, will breathe a massive sigh of relief. Although who's to follow who is a guess. Hopefully for the Tories, for the membership of the Tories, it would be Boris. But who else have you got? There's people it just cannot be. Hunt is out. Hunt is so yesterday's man. Then you've got the ones that, I mean, personally, I would love Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg as he now is, because that would be comedy gold. He is the world's poshest man, but it would best be amusing. I mean, I will be fair about Rees-Mogg. He is a very intellectual man. He's a very clever man, and he has excellent manners. That can't be taken away. But I don't think he is a man of the people. And I think he's fairly removed from the people, which I think would make it. I mean, he wouldn't necessarily be a good leader, but he'd be an amusing leader, and I think that would be fun. But who else is there? There's not many people of talent at the top in any party, really. But certainly Rishi, I think his time has come. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see in here on the channel, please do hit the subscribe button even. Ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. Let's just watch this unfolding drama as the Conservative Party rips itself apart and smile. And bye-bye.